Hi, everybody, to the AEW Rewind podcast. My name is Shawn.
And I'm Justin Bradley.
And this week, we could say it was a good. I guess it was a good episode. It's kind of average, to be
I wouldn't
honest.
say it was good, but I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just kind of meh. Like, there weren't too many, exciting parts like we're used to. Obviously, last week we didn't record. Sorry about that for any
Yeah,
of
I
our...
got some. I've been doing
We
some
had some technical
internship stuff.
difficulties, yeah. So, we didn't... That was a really fun one. Unfortunately, we couldn't really talk about that, but, I mean, it was pretty hard to bounce off of that into,
We're gonna
another
be
great
bringing up some
episode.
stuff probably from that week's episode in this week's episode because
Oh,
some of
yeah.
it comes up.
Yep, that's how it's AEW storytelling at its finest. Everything, you have to keep watching to understand it.
And I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, so
Definitely as a viewer.
yeah, it's great. And AEW's been doing really great with the ratings, though. I'd say that they got over 900,000 total viewers last week, which is really really good. I think I saw somewhere that they beat Raw's by hour. By the 18 to 49 or whatever. So they're doing really well. Obviously, a lot of people are fed up with what WWE is doing right now, besides NXT. But yeah, enough of that. Interesting night. It wasn't too crazy. The main event was kind of meh. Yeah, I mean, we could get right into the first match here.
Yeah, this week's episode was Tag Team Appreciation Night was kind of the theme, and
Which I feel like is every week. Because I swear they do
true.
tag matches every week like
The
this. I
amount
feel
of tag team matches that happened tonight was about the same amount of tag team
yeah,
matches they had previous weeks.
yeah. But obviously, it
But
was,
the one thing though was that there was a very small amount of fans that were in the crowd, kind of far away though.
Yeah, and it sounds like, with this, it's like you just got to know somebody kind of thing.
And
And
live in
I'm
the
sure,
Jacksonville area.
yeah, and I'm sure they're all tested. I'm 100% certain, especially with how good AEW has been with this whole thing. And sign me up, man. I just want to see some wrestling. I know that Brian Cage and Jeff Cobb had a match at an indie promotion in the middle of the country in a football field, and they had fans social distancing. Lance Archer was there too. It's just going to be the new normal. I mean, since Daly's place is outside, technically, I don't know, the protocols with that, but I think sooner or later they got to start bringing some fans in. I think more than that. I mean, obviously don't rush it, but I think if you bring some fans in who are willing to get tested and everything, just do it, because I mean, if they're getting tested and they're negative, I just don't think there's a point. I mean, just do it, but at a safe way.
And the first match I could honestly maybe say was the best match on the show was the Young Bucks against Evil Uno and Stu Greyson.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Stu Greyson and Evil Uno are really underrated in my opinion as a tag team. I think a lot of it's because they kind of disappeared during the pandemic because they were in Canada or whatever. But they're actually really good. Stu Grayson's really athletic. We saw some of the things they do. I mean, Evil Uno's really good, and the Dark Order are really they're a fan favorite right now. I mean, I don't know if you've watched. I tell you to keep watching BTE, but they are.
You know what? You know what? To make up for not having an episode last week, I watched Being the Elite.
Good. They are carrying BTE right now, and it's a good way. It's not like the rest of it's bad, but they have 3 segments every show now, and
Yes, I
it's
watched
great.
the most recent, probably the 4 episodes, and this week's.
They're really ready to like them, and I think they've really turned a corner with them because we all know they were kind of gimmick. I swear they've changed their gimmick. It's whatever. I really like where they're at right now. And obviously we'll get into Brody Lee, but we got a big match for him coming up next week.
Yes, it's definitely, like I said, it was probably the best match of the whole show.
Yeah. I mean, also just great seeing the Young Bucks, especially during the pandemic. But yeah, great stuff for both teams. A little weird finish there.
Yes, sure. Just jump right into the finish. We have Matt won after basically a roll up to Evil Uno. Roll up.
So basically they took Nick Jackson, the other like usual. And they just kind of had them guard the entryway.
Yeah, I
So
remember the win this week, the follow up, their big win last week, so to keep the momentum going. But
yeah, I don't know. It's just hard with the Young Bucks because getting into a feud with,
yeah, because I felt
so
like it would have been good to like have on verse. Seems like the Dark Order is starting to get an upper hand. Yeah, part of it felt like it was just kind of like I don't know. It made it made Stu Greyson and Evil Uno, and I want to say it was kind of dumb, kind of like literally like all Stu Grayson had to do is just turn around and knock it.
Yeah, and it was 2-on-1, and it's like I get it. It was a roll up, so it kind of protects them. It wasn't like a clear, pinfall.
But they they singled out one of the members of the Young Bucks like completely.
Yeah. So again, they're not buried. They're still one of the top acts or whatever, top gimmicks in the company. I'm not really upset by the finish. It was just weird.
It was just weird.
They haven't. I mean, we'll get into the matches next week, but they wrestle next week. I'm pretty sure again, unless that's Silver and Reynolds that wrestle instead.
Yeah, it was Silver, Reynolds, and
then Alan Angels.
Alan Angels.
Yep. So they're getting a week off. Probably good. I'm sure they'll get involved with the Brody stuff.
They'll be probably standing on the stage, probably doing their.
The one tag team I want to see on like Dynamite, not Dark or anything, is Angelico and Jack Evans.
Yeah, because I think they were on Dark this week.
Yeah. So they're back. They got out of they were able to come in from Mexico because that's where they were. And a lot of people don't not too many casual fans know this, but they are really good. Lucha Underground, really watch their stuff. Jack Evans is good like by himself. He had a really good match with Brian Cage. I watched during this quarantine. I was just watching wrestling on YouTube.
You do good. You do good promos.
Yeah, and they're great on the mic. They kind of had a weird start to their career. They kept, they were kind of losing. They were kind of the team that they would take a win over. But I think it sounds like from BT, it sounds like they're ready to, make a comeback onto the scene. But it's like, where do they fit with all these tag teams?
That's true. Right now, probably the thing that the AEW has the most of right now is tag teams,
which is fine. And also, you got to think by now they would have had that second show up and running. I'm almost positive they have a second show signed and ready to go, but Corona obviously impacted that.
That's true. That's a problem.
That a lot of the wrestlers aren't getting much time. Probably would have had time on the other show.
Oh yeah, and which we can get into
women, everybody, the tag team, singles.
We can talk more about the whole women's thing a little bit later because there's definitely things to talk about surrounding that, which can definitely and go also into that whole second show kind of business. It's a whole thing right now.
Yeah, but what was next? I forget.
So the next segment of the show was they showed MJF getting ready to come out to the ring. And then they started the first in the line of promos throughout the night. Quick little vignettes, I guess, talking to different tag teams, saying who is their favorite, who they consider the best tag team ever.
Yeah, who they looked up to, that kind of thing. When they were going.
And of course, first one was Omega and Page, and they said the Young Bucks was the greatest.
Oh, Page didn't say the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah,
Page was I was gonna say ourselves, which keeps building that tension growing, and then it's good. It's really good. It's the little things that make a difference. And the Young Bucks definitely are probably one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah. So the next full segment of the show is the MJF's address.
Yeah, and honestly, it's pretty much the same thing 3 weeks in a row now. It's not bad. I mean, MJF's always gold on the mic. This is kind of the one where I was just kind of meh, it was pretty good. Obviously, Mox came out, but it was obviously he's gonna everyone goes out to protect him. I mean, you want to get more into his speech, we can, but I'm talking about the end real quick. Where
the weird thing for me right now is I'm thinking about this right now is that I feel like with all these Moxley feuds so far, it's just been the whoever he's feuding against getting all the talking time, and then he just comes out, says a few words, and then that's it.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is also. I mean, he has cut some small promos here and there recently. I think he's definitely a big draw for AEW, as he should be. And a lot of it is just, I mean, I don't think he really needs to talk too much. Like he can, like his Darby promo he had last week was one of his best promos on AEW. I don't know if you even caught that, but he was basically saying how Darby, like he was like showing respect to Darby, like he's his favorite wrestler in AEW besides him, obviously.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like I want when I tell you to stay down, but I know you're not gonna want to because you're just like me. And it was really good stuff. From there.
Because Darby really needs that kind of stuff right now.
Yeah, Darby's killing it too. I'm assuming Brian Cage and him are gonna wrestle for the belt at All Out. We'll see. But yeah, back to Moxley. I just don't think you really need much from him. I mean, he's the champ for a reason.
Yeah.
I think many people know what he's about already. All of his promos are pretty much, you know, we always say basic Mox promos, you know, so or not basic, but classic or whatever we say. But if you want to get more into MJF, I forget what he even really said. It's pretty much the same stuff.
He was just kind of saying that like Moxley isn't ready for a change, and he doesn't feel comfortable looking up at the lights. So he got down to where he would be comfortable for where like Moxley would feel comfortable for MJF to be, and that's laying down on his back. And then he called him a dog and said that he needs to hand the keys over because he was chasing a car.
Another thing real quick, they said before this promo, like they were kind of listing out things that were going to happen tonight. And they said John Moxley will appear. And I was like, okay. And then MJF was like, I know you're not here, Moxley. Well, like, obviously he's going to show up. Like, I wish they wouldn't even have done that.
Like, if he is watching the show, then yeah, he was supposed to know that he would show up.
Yeah, so I don't know if MJF didn't get that memo or if, you know, I just feel like it was too obvious. Or maybe it was just them saying, hey, Mox is going to show up. So, and everybody loves Mox, so to keep the viewers.
Yeah, I guess you can say that, like, because of course, obviously, after him egging on Moxley, he does comes into where MJF tells everyone to go to the steps because that's where he usually comes out, but then he just comes out from the entryway, and then attacks MJF with the paradigm shift, and then when he goes to the back, he says basically, they're not going to be even until their match at All Out, and then it's going to be a very bitter pill for MJF to swallow. You know, kind of straight through his stuff.
Yeah, just straight classic. You know, classic MJF, classic Mox. Yeah, I mean, nothing. I honestly like. I wasn't really impressed with this MJF promo.
It was just kind of
felt like the same thing over and over again.
It did feel pretty basic for both of these guys. They're just kind of like, I mean, besides him saying the whole thing about looking up at the lights and saying that him laying on his back is that's where, you know, being comfortable kind of thing. It was just kind of like a straightforward heel promo, and then Moxley said very straightforward babyface kind of promo. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah. And then you saw Tony Khan chilling in the back drinking some coffee. Really funny.
He's still hanging around in the back.
Yeah. And then, you know, we went to commercial, I think, and then we were right into, was it the tag match after this?
No, it was the Matt Hardy interview, which I think was probably the most interesting segment, like promo segment of the entire night, because we have here's this part where they have this interview where he says that he won't be available to wrestle for like 10 days. And then he says about like he was seeing red and he'll make Sammy bleed until Matt's seeing red until he'll make Sammy bleed. And then he kind of like changes characters like all the time, like mid like conversation, and like he says like Matt likes the taste of his own blood, and then he attacks like a referee that just sort of looks like Sammy.
That was good. I like that. Because he did from behind. Like, I mean, I kind of knew Sammy wasn't that big. Like, it was obvious that it wasn't him, but it was a really cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just to show that Matt Hardy's kind of going crazy, and they're using that chair shot to kind of like they probably improvised because it didn't sound like that chair shot. Even the blood was really going to happen. They're improvising off the off the bat. and just saying like, "Look, Matt's kind of going crazy now. He has like a concussion, and like he kind of that chair shot kind of made him go crazy a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of
Not
like
that
the
he wasn't
idea.
already crazy, but
Yeah, but I kind of like the idea that because of that headshot, it made him to like his mind is literally getting broken. Like he's like starting to change characters mid sentence now without like kind of like how usually you just like walk away and come back and he's a different person. Now he's just like
yeah.
changing all the time.
Yeah, it's like he's like a broken robot or something. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I really am excited to see where this goes with Sammy and him. I'm sure that's gonna Sammy's gonna take a bump, especially for what happened. And
I
Sammy's
feel,
known for taking bumps, and I think I mean, there's no shot he doesn't take a bump with Matt.
this match just feels like it's setting up to like a hardcore match.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be an amazing match. Um, like wrestling, because Matt's great, but we all know he's getting older. You can just watch him in the ring and tell he's kind of at the
Yeah.
end of his career, where Sammy's entering his prime. But it's really cool, obviously, to build Sammy, especially after coming back. They're still going with this feud, um, and I just know Sammy's gonna do some crazy bump for Matt. I'm sure. And I just don't know what it's
Mm.
gonna be.
Yeah, so the next segment on the show then is the TNT title match between Cody, the champion, against Scorpio Sky.
I honestly really, really enjoyed this match.
This was a very
Um,
enjoyable match as
for
well.
a Cody match, he's really slow, and Scorpio's kind of a faster paced wrestler. I mean, basically every wrestler in AEW is faster paced except for Cody and Jake Hager, but it feels like, or Shawn Spears, I don't know, but
Mhm.
um, I think Scorpio is really building himself, going to be a face of the company. I think he already kind of is, but I think
Yeah,
he's going to be like MJF level. I think
I could see him
still has some
competing for
work.
the world title.
Oh yeah, for sure. At some point, I don't think soon, but I think he's
Obviously,
slowly
in the
gonna
future.
burn this. They're slowly gonna get him like pushed. And
Mhm.
again, it's kind of hard right now with all the talent that they have and the 2 hours every week plus dark.
Yeah, there's some interesting things to note right away. Is like in his entrance, like Scorpio like broke down like a door or something because
Yeah, that
that's
was
his whole
weird.
thing. Yeah, they're saying that like he was saying that he's supposed to be like breaking down the door or something in like a promo or something he said once
Yeah,
or
it just looked weird. I don't
yeah, it's
know.
kind
It
of
just
strange because
really,
you just see like the regular entrance way for like the show and there's just like a door, like a makeshift door
I
just
just wish.
in like the opening. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I wish
weird.
they would have filmed him like coming out of his locker and busting the door down, and then coming in instead of doing that like a
Instead, there's just
Goldberg
this like random circular like
door
wall that
fit.
they
Yeah.
built just for the entrance with the door connected to it.
Yeah. There was a couple good spots here where Scorpio did that little like he put Cody on his stomach and like flew him into the ring post. Like he
Hmm.
kind of took his arms and his legs and pulled him.
Yeah, target the ribs.
And he was kind of being a little. He did a couple little heel things here and there. Like you could tell he was kind of the heel in the rest of the match.
Yeah,
Also,
kinda.
I don't know if you said, I forget, but if Cody came out with everybody. Cody
Yeah,
came out with the
like
crew.
yeah, and I saw QT is back now from his
Yep. Routine, whatever you want to call it.
routine
Brandy
from
had her
Mars.
action figure. I don't know if you saw that. Brandy had her action figure down to the ring, 'cause I don't know if you know, but they released their figures now. They're at Walmart's. They have
Mm.
belts, rings, and all their figures, which is cool. It's a really big step for them.
It's
But yeah,
always the
back
thing that all the you can say all the big wrestling organizations have.
for sure. Um,
So like other things you note that are like in this match, you say like they're kind of heelish. Like Cody like opened the ropes to let him back in after he threw him to the outside, and Scorpio rejects his offer.
I think he could be a really good heel, but he could also be a really good babyface. So that
Yeah,
they're gonna win-win situation there. Um, but I think he's gonna be a babyface because
of course,
if you really
because
think about it, they don't really have too many baby faces, like
yeah,
top tier baby the heels, but they don't really have those baby like Cody, Mox, and that's pretty much it.
and the
Like,
crowd can get really behind Scorpio.
oh yeah, for sure, and he's really good. He's really good with the crowds too.
Hmm. But once again, kind of this match once again gets like suffered from the weird finishes that were going on throughout the night. Because at one point Cody hits the crossroads, which Sky kicks out, and then there's kind of like a mix-up. I don't know if you could say that, where Scorpio goes for a second cutter where he jumps over the ropes into the inside, but then Cody kind of blocks it and then just hits another crossroads to win.
It was a weird. I don't know if that was supposed to happen, but
It
I
felt
mean, at least
rushed.
Scorpio was able to kick out of the crossroads.
Hmm.
They gave him that. I honestly thought Scorpio had a good shot to win,
Yeah.
but he didn't. Obviously, I mean, he tried to put up a good fight. Probably one of my more favorite matches that Cody's done with this belt.
Hmm.
Also, we forgot even to talk about the belt, the new belt,
Oh
or not
yeah,
the new
yeah.
belt, the original belt that didn't come because of Corona, and then he had to wear the other one.
It was the finished belt, which basically it's just kind of it's just
I
in
like it.
gold with they added like another like back plates to the AEW logo there on the sides.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be better than what he had, but I actually I
Yes,
like it more than I thought I was going to.
it is
Um,
definitely a big step up from the
oh,
other
you
one.
can tell. I mean, the shininess, like it's just like you could tell how bad the other one looked now, especially.
Yeah, I don't know, still the like the giant like those big open spaces on the TNT logo on the center is just kind of still a little weird to me.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's just like whatever. That's the TNT logo, so that's their space around it.
Yeah, at least it shines though. That's the good news.
Yeah, the gold really helps a lot,
Also, this is where we introduce Mike Chioda to AEW.
which is great. Great addition to the referee crew. AEW is really good with giving the refs characters, not characters, but like the commentators talk about them. They're treated like people. They're not
You
just
let them
treated.
know that they have long histories as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legendary. He's one of the best refs probably of all time.
And he's been
And
around for such a long time, like at this point,
he's probably
multiple
ref some of the
decades.
best matches ever. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm blanking on like some specific ones, but I feel like he's definitely wrestled. I mean, not wrestled. He's refed Undertaker matches, like the
Oh yeah,
WrestleMania one, plenty of
I'm pretty sure
times.
he's ref like almost like when they start getting to like the modern matches, he's pretty much the one. I think he's like refed almost all of them.
Yeah, so he has plenty of experience. Great addition. Obviously, the WWE or AEW haters are going to come out. Oh, look, they're signing. They're just AEW. I mean WWE 2.0,
I feel like
WCW.
this one was more of a statement than just
Yeah. I mean,
signing
dude,
another guy.
what are you just going to bat an eye because he used to use a WWE guy? Like, no, dude, he's one of the best refs of all time. You're not going to not give him a shot. Like, what? In my opinion. I mean, I don't think you
Mm.
just because, like, just with these wrestlers, I mean, AEW really hasn't even picked up any of these big wrestlers that got released other than Matt Cardona. I
Yeah,
mean,
many of
Rusev
the other ones went
maybe.
to Impact.
I mean, yeah, apparently EC3 is not on a full-time contract with Impact, so
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on with EC3. He's been yeah, his character that he's doing on Twitter is kind of weird.
I haven't watched Impact.
I can't.
But
I
yeah,
don't know. I can't. I don't have the channel to watch on like Access. I don't have it.
I saw some of Slammiversary, but yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, Chioda. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good addition to the roster. I mean, it's never going to be a negative with him. I mean, not bad.
Yeah,
Can't
we'll
go
never
wrong.
be a negative with that. So then after that match, it cuts away. Well, after the Dark Order start coming out, actually, well, Brody Lee appears on the Titantron, starts cutting a promo about Cody, and then about saying basically he's taken down all the members of the Elite, and now he's going after Cody, so he's gonna be challenging for the TNT title.
Yeah, and which I'm really excited for. I thought that's where they were going originally when the Dark Order came out, and then Matt Cardona debuted. That's what I thought that they were doing, but I guess they're showing it a week later. Um, I think this is gonna be a great match. I hope it's probably gonna be slow. This is gonna be a slow one, but I think there's gonna be some cool spots.
Mhm.
Brody's seems to be back to normal.
Storytelling in this match will be good.
Really killer promo, and obviously he had the old belt. Really, I don't know why he loves taking people's belts. I don't know, but
I did kind of like the line where he was like, "I'll take that title, so you can keep this one."
Yeah, so really cool. Obviously, Dark Order are huge right now for AEW. It should be a fun one. I don't think Brody wins, which sucks
I don't
because
know.
he's really hasn't had a big win yet. I mean, other than the 6-man tag or the 12-man tag.
Honestly, I don't know. It could be a close one. I could honestly see him winning.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It's gonna be a toss-up, really, for that match because it could go either way.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's gonna be a good one. Like I said, I'm excited for it. Obviously, we have to wait till Saturday instead of Wednesday, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the next one on the next segment of the night was probably the most the unique one of the whole. Who's your like best tag team? And this is with the Private Party because they say that their best tag team of all time are the Hardy Boys. Now,
Well, yeah.
now like when they usually like, cause with the Young Bucks, obviously they can show all the the history of Young Bucks, but currently with the Hardys, it was kind of like here's like the pictures of them when they were like really early, and like when they were like, oh yeah, and you can't forget their entrance, and then like they did like the finger thing that they would do as the Hardy Boys, and it was like, well, we can't really show any of it, but because
Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy's on his way to AEW at some point.
I have no idea with that. That'll be maybe, I don't know.
I mean, he has a lot of, he has a lot of background issues.
But
It
I
seems
could
like.
easily see him going just because Matt's there.
Oh yeah, another one would be Rey Mysterio too. I mean, obviously, I don't know what Rey Mysterio's deal is with WWE right now, but
Yeah, I guess last time I heard with him, they said like, oh well, he's gonna be working without a contract right now, and then all of a sudden, it seems like he might be sticking around. I don't know.
his son or whatever. I saw that. That was brutal. Those pictures of him with his
Oh
back
yeah,
off.
that stuff was crazy. Like I
I
saw this
didn't see
picture on
it.
Instagram where it's just lit up.
Yeah, but what were we talking about? Yeah, Hardy Boys. I mean, they're definitely one of the best tag teams.
Of
There's
course.
arguments. I mean, they're probably the most popular tag team of all time because that was like
Easily one of the most popular of like the recent era.
that was like prime everybody, like when wrestling was really, really popular in the 2000s, early 2000s. Like that was probably everybody's favorite for sure. Like they
And
were.
then and then after this we have the tag team title match between Kenny Omega and Hangman with Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defending against Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
And Marco Stunt was there, which
And Marcus Stunt
obviously
was there.
played a big role in this match. Obviously, they're continuing to tease Kenny, just slowly going back to the cleaner.
Cause you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna turn heel. It's just you just know it's what's gonna happen.
I don't know if I told you this or my friend, I forget, but on the AEW roster webpage, they changed Kenny's name to his nickname to the Cleaner.
Oh yeah, I think you remember saying I think last week,
So
last episode.
it's gonna happen. I just cannot wait for it. I mean, I'm all for the slow burn because I want him to. I want American audiences to watch Kenny Omega at his best, like when he's like a heel solo run, because his best runs were in Japan, and a lot of like people are like, "Oh, Kenny Omega's overrated." Well, you'll find out he's not overrated, and I just hope they can wait off a little bit longer.
Yeah, and also it's like because you want at least the heel term to feel like I guess like satisfying in a way. I guess you can say it.
I think the Bucks are going to turn with him. I mean, I don't know. I think somebody's going to go. I just feel like because the Elite are just going to break up. Like people. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Bucks have always been the closest with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think he's going to turn on the Bucks.
Yeah, I feel like it just has to lead to maybe a double turn because I don't know. It's just tough because like if he turns heel and no one else does, it's just gonna be I don't know. Like what is the Elite then? It's just gonna be like Hangman and maybe the Young Bucks, but they don't really see eye to eye that much.
Cody's not even basically in the Elite anymore. It's weird.
And Cody's just hanging out with the Nightmare family. So yeah, it's kind of weird. But this match as a whole, it was a good match. It wasn't like a bad match.
I mean, I didn't think they were gonna lose the belts.
Yeah, obviously.
Now, what I hope to do with the belts, as we'll get into later, I hope they just do a triple threat tag match with the Bucks and FTR for a All Out.
And maybe like have FTR win.
Something like that. But yeah, the match, Kenny, Hangman, just classic tag team. I mean, they're not even classic. What I'm saying, it's just they're so good in the ring. It's just, like, they just mesh so well together too for a team that hardly ever teamed ever before this.
Also, in Hangman's entrance, it said that he needed to borrow money for a new lawnmower.
Because if you didn't want, I mean, you watch BT obviously, so you would know that they didn't get the Chili's baby back ribs ad.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He said, I was about to get a new lawnmower.
I didn't even like. I don't think I even remember that. That was such like a throwaway line.
Yeah, that's the cool parts that they do a little, bridge connection. They were really promoting PTE as well.
Yeah, they're starting to really promote it.
I think a lot of people would like it. I don't know if I don't know. Some of it's corny, but it's funny to like people who really, really like the product. But I don't know if some people find it funny. But yeah, I mean, great match here, Kenny, man, classic. And then Luchasaurus is always good. Jungle Boy's he's already good, but he's gonna be like Scorpio Sky, him and MJF are probably their big three, and Darby and Sammy. I mean, maybe 5. I don't know. I'm just naming off people now. Those are probably their 5 young guys that they're gonna really grow with.
Yeah, definitely.
As they get into the company longer. He's incredible. Jungle Boy's really, really good.
So of course, Omega and Hangman win after hitting the last call on Jungle Boy to retain the titles. I would say like I don't know, even with the ending for this one, it was just kind of like it just kind of happened. I don't know, that's what it just kind of feel like.
Yeah. Obviously you got, like we said, Kenny and Marco kind of had a feud the whole time. Luchasaurus threw Marco out on top of him at one point.
Marco was trying to even get involved like really early on to this.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell because he was pissed. He got hit in the face last time by Kenny. He never really got his retribution or retaliation or whatever. But I mean, there's not really much you can say. I just want them to split so bad. But I get why they're not, and I get why they're trying to not do it now. Who knows? Like,
still
if
needs
there's
to
a
get
crowd,
that slow build.
Yeah, because you remember their match at Revolution. It was really at like the peak. And then I think Kenny was hurt and he couldn't wrestle. He broke his hand or thumb or whatever because he broke it during the match. But I just want to see them go on singles runs and give it to a real tag team. And I think that could give a spot to TH2, as we talked about earlier. Because once they're out of the tag team spot, that opens up a new spot for somebody to come in. And I think that would be good. I mean, they wouldn't have to win, but they could put on some really good matches.
I was looking to see maybe also afterwards, after maybe the Dark Order taking it.
That's true too. I mean, you could go that way. But I really think FTR is going to take it.
Yeah, FTR should maybe, yeah. I feel like a triple threat, the idea of a triple threat tag team might work the best.
Yeah, I think that's the best way because then you'd have, the FTR just there, and Hangman obviously likes FTR, and it's just there's so many different storylines.
It would just like complete this like the story.
And I think that would happen at All Out. That's soon. That's September 5th. What
that is really soon. Like it's
3 weeks probably around there.
It is coming really fast at this point. This is basically right around the corner.
We were saying crowds for All Out in September. I mean, now we're probably not even going to have that. I mean, we're going to have those crowds that we probably do now, but not good ones, like not the big ones.
Not to the extent of what we usually have.
Which is unfortunate.
Of course, it's always unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean, Hangman pick up the win here. Kenny and Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they go from here. I mean, other than probably another title defense.
Yeah, well, they announced that one match for next week, which we'll talk about when we get to there.
That's a triple. That's a 6-man tag, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But after this, we have they show Proud and Powerful starting attacking the best friend's luggage and dumping bleach on them.
Which the water didn't even go on it, but it was still funny.
Yeah, they just kind of like they pour bleach on it,
under
water,
the
and just
shower. Yeah, but I mean, they're already having a lot of fun with this. It's just best friends are really good, and Santana, they're just really good characters, and they know how to, have fun and be creative. And it's like it's like a perfect feud for that.
Yeah, both
aspect.
of their characters just work like they really mesh well together.
Yeah, and I really think, I think I'm ahead. I think I'm like too smart, obviously, but I think Orange Cassidy's going to use that money for a new car for Sue. But that's my prediction as to where they go with that money, because I don't think he's just going to get $7,000 and not use it. I think there was a reason why there was money on the line.
Yeah, just to buy a new van.
A new van for her, just for Inner Circle to destroy it again.
So the next, they show the Butcher and the Blade saying that their best team ever was the Road Warriors, which is pretty on brand, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you didn't think they were gonna say somebody else. Like, I don't know who else they would say.
Like, I don't know who else they would say. Besides some other team that was also known for being very bruiser type.
Yeah.
So then moves on to, I guess you can call it the meeting of the tag teams. That's why I have it labeled as. And that's for they kind of just it
was just awkward.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. They had so they had FTR, the Young Bucks out there with Rock and Roll Express and Arn and Tully. And yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't really know what is gonna come out of this. Like they just kind of did it to go with the whole.
I mean, we saw the big part of the ending where FTR attacked. That was kind of the first time, like, that was like honestly, like a heel. That was probably one of the first ever big heel turns AEW's had.
That was the most heel I think FTR has actually been on like the show so far.
Yeah, I mean, you attack. That would have, if they did that in front of a crowd. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, it looks like some sort. They're with Tully a little bit.
I guess. It's so weird with like I said, this whole segment was just so weird. Like I don't know what they were trying to like. Where is this gonna go?
They want us to be like that, but I feel like I'm just confused more than just like have an idea of what's going on.
Because like it says like Shawn Spears appears towards the end, where Tully was just talking about how neither your teams are really that great right now because you don't have the titles, and like I think it was Ricky Martin slapped slapped Tully, and then that started like a break, like having to break up the two of them, and then that was when the FTR attacked Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, unless was the thing, unless Arn was kind of fake fighting with Tully, and then he left just to get him out of the way, so he didn't have an excuse to help. Like maybe Arn was in on all this. And,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed, now that I'm thinking about it, he probably left because he needed an excuse not to be there.
Like, I don't know. It's just a weird segment. Like I don't know what's the.
Shawn Spears just appears out of the tunnel, like, oh hey, like, I mean, I don't know. Well, like, I get why you're there, because Tully.
Yeah. It was
obviously,
yeah.
It seems like there's a little partnership going on between FTR and Shawn Spears and Tully. So that's probably, I just think Hangman has to be the fourth one in that group. I mean, Horsemen, like 4 Horsemen, Hangman Page, like, it's just him. It makes too much sense. But I mean, I don't know if they'd be called the 4 Horsemen, but something like that.
Yeah. It was just kind of a strange thing that they just added on to this episode. I really don't know where they're going to be going with this. But
yeah, Hangman's in the middle now, so especially after this, he doesn't know what to think.
I guess it's just kind of maybe like character.
Alcohol, of course.
Yeah, so. Of course. And I don't know, maybe it's just like I don't know, they get like their characters. like they work their characters a little bit more, or maybe put both the teams over. Like I don't know.
It was just weird. I don't know what else to say much. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, like now what? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that is a good way to put it. It's just like, yeah, that was great that you had these legends come out, put over Young Bucks and FTR, and then they got into this fight, and it's like, all right, now what?
Yeah, like now what do we do? Like, what
Like,
are we doing here?
yeah, like what are we doing with this now? So to move on from that kind of strangeness, we have let's see, what did we have next? Next was they were interviewing Mike Chioda, but the Chris Jericho comes out, and they kind of plant the seeds that Mike was going to help Jericho maybe, because they said that Jericho says, oh, he saved Chioda's job, and Jericho wants specifically him to ref the match, and he wants him to do the right thing.
Yeah. It was weird because, like, I feel like if you are telling him that, you don't want everybody to know that going into the match. Like, oh, he's gonna cheat.
It was supposed to just like plant the seeds in your head that, oh, is he or won't he? Just because
Yeah,
they had,
I get it. He's a
experience in the
legend.
past.
We talk about how important he is. Like, obviously, for people that don't know how important, they kind of needed to get that over.
Mm.
And obviously, Jericho and him have that past, and they kind of threw it in, but it really, I don't know, it was just kind of weird. Again, it was like, okay, like,
Like I understand more of this one than the previous
yeah, I
segment.
understand it, but it's just like, I don't know why you would tell that in front of everybody so that everybody knows. Like, I feel like that's
I mean, yeah, like outside, outside the environment of the like wrestling with like the cameras and stuff. Like, why else would he just come out in front of like, hey, want to help me win against
"Hey,
Orange
you wanna
Cassidy?
show me cheat? Hey, do you wanna cheat, buddy?" Like, in front of every like, remember? Like,
That's
okay.
true.
That was just the weird part for me, like, why would you tell everybody that when you know it's like an interview, Jericho? You see the guy getting interviewed. But, yeah.
Yes, after this, they have they did picture in picture. They had Sammy out there with his like doing the card bit.
It wasn't
Um,
that funny, but it's just Sammy, so
yeah, it was just supposed to like continue with the whole thing with Matt basically just saying it was like, well, he's gone for the rest of the day, and he learned the hard way, and when he gestured with his chair that he brought out like we did last week.
yeah, it sounds like next week something's gonna go down,
Yeah,
between them.
probably. It feels like it's just setting him up for a hardcore match in the end. So we have next is Hikaru Shida going against Heather Monroe in her debut match, which this goes into a much bigger
We
problem.
didn't even talk about this yet. Oh my god.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about this show that we don't really have much hard feelings for. Uh, so it's pretty, I would say, almost one-sided match for Hikaru Shida. She she actually she taps out Heather Monroe, and then afterwards she gets on a promo and says she's waiting for the challenger, and says to bring it on, and that was it.
Like, dude.
Like, come on, man.
I honestly didn't watch the match. If you want me to be honest, I didn't watch it because I knew Sheeta was gonna win and blah blah blah. Like, if Sheeta's in action and you don't say who the opponent is, I know she's gonna beat. It's a squash match, and it's like you have okay. Women's division again. We thought it was kind of going in the right direction after Double or Nothing. It is literally going worse.
It's actually worse than what we thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, no Britt Baker today, which is probably a good thing. But it's like again, you have this tag team tournament that you want to do, and you put it on the YouTube channel. You don't put it on TV. Obviously, they put the final on TV, but it could have been a great time to show some wrestlers. Like I get, they have people now. Like I know they do. Like Mel was wrestling. Like they have wrestlers to wrestle. Like maybe not a lot, but you could do something. And it's like she's the women's champion, and she is not.
Yes.
There's no kind of like projection as to where this is going with her.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
reasonable. Is Nyla Rose just gonna face her again? Like that's just where I think they're going. But
yeah,
Nyla Rose should be doing something, attacking her. You have how many more? You got 3 weeks until all out. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, AEW's been getting scrutinized left and right now with how they've been treating the women's division.
They deserve it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like I remember seeing a Twitter post. I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was from a woman on Twitter. I forgot what her name was. And she was talking about how like of all the people who show up for like they only had like was it last week was only a few minutes like in one match on last week's episode, and they said like of all the characters who've been getting character work, the most that's been getting any character work has been Britt Baker, and that's been pretty much it.
Can't even wrestle.
Yeah, and she doesn't even wrestle.
Yeah, and it's like, dude. Oh man, it just makes me so mad because they go into this with this company saying that the women's division is going to be one of their most focused parts of the company, and obviously, I mean, it's not like just because of the pandemic. Like before this, like it was bad, and it's like you got Jr. who doesn't even know half the stories of the women, and is just like selling his barbecue sauce.
I mean, so far
during the
most
night.
of the I guess
Like,
AEW doesn't know the stories of the
yeah,
women's division right now.
it's like, dude, like come on, like you have talent, and it's like. She is the women's champion, and she is she's still doing squash matches. Like, she's not like, I guess she can't really speak too much fluent English, right? But
Mm.
why Nyla Rose gets Vicky Guerrero, and she's just done nothing with her other than the tournament, and they lost in the first round. Like, we haven't heard from them after that. Like, what is going on? And you see the women in the crowd. The women are in the crowd,
Yeah,
Shawn.
like why are
The
they
women are
not in the ring?
not like they're not there. Why are they not? Why like it's like they have one spot every show for women, and it's like they can never do two slots for women. When they ever take their time out of their day to have two slots in the show for women's matches, I will be impressed because they have not done that yet.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just
I mean, it's like I'm not really like I don't know. Like I'm it's if the women I don't know how to explain it, but it's not. It's just annoying. Like, I'm
yes.
not. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
It's just after I saw the match end, and then Shia's promo was just, "I'm waiting for the challenger and bring it on."
Okay,
I was
so
just like,
okay, so
"Oh,"
now what?
I was just
That's
like,
exactly
"Oh,
like what's
okay,
like
that's all we
so what?
get."
Yeah, so what now? Like that's basically what happened with that Tully thing. Like what now?
I was just like, "Yippee! Well,
And I
great,
guarantee you this is just
good
going
push."
to be Nyla Rose again. I would put money on it, which isn't a problem. But the thing is, they're not building it again.
Hmm.
Like you have Vicky Guerrero now, and she's not talked ever since she showed up. I mean, other than being the YouTube channel, but on the actual TV show, you have not promoted this women's title at all. It's
And
just
most of
like
them don't have
insane.
characters except for Britt Baker, and she doesn't
Which who
wrestle.
can't even because Swall's gonna be with Britt Baker the whole time. So it has to be Nyla Rose. There's no other capable wrestler right now to face her for the belt.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just, oh, the
It's
best way
just
to sum it up.
it's just weird because like Kenny's supposed to be leading that area. I don't know.
Mm.
It's just like Tony's smart. Like they're smart. They're not stupid. And it's like I don't know what they're doing at all.
Mm. But it's time to move on to the next segment of the show, which we have segment with Jake Roberts in the back. It's supposed to be cutting a promo, but like Lance Archer is beating up people in the background like usual. But and it's like it's so much noise that like it covers over his promo.
It was good. It was classic, and then it kind of got a little weird. But
Yeah, I wasn't even like how in this episode the ends of matches were weird. The end of promo was weird, as for some reason on Jake's back it said everybody dies.
and
Why?
Lance started to strip down Jake Roberts in the middle of a promo. It was
And
just
it was like
weird. And Jake
on
was
his
like,
back
"Oh
just
no, not the shirt, not the $200 shirt, Jake or Lance." He was like really upset about it. It was so funny.
it was
Uh,
like and on the back just everybody dies and it's like why?
okay, well that's his thing. But I get that. But The thing is, like, again, where is he? Like, I get he's beating the crap out of everybody. He's like he's only lost one match against Cody, but it's like I want to see him like in a good feud. Like, it's cool. I watch him beat up everybody every show, but I want him with like an actual wrestler to wrestle him. Like,
yeah, it was just
he's
he
gonna
just
have a
needs
match.
something.
I just like you don't know who because he's not really aiming. They're just saying you'll find out. Like, okay, now what? Like, again, like who are we talking about? Like, I don't know who could face him.
Yeah, I feel like he just needs a match at All Out, but I
He
wish
needs
they
to
could
win.
build to it.
I mean, Joey obviously he won that, which was really fun, surprisingly. Joey Janela.
But he just needs.
Yeah.
I would like a build up to one of these matches.
That's what
That's
I'm
all I
saying.
like.
It's like you're gonna build the. Oh yeah, Lance is facing this guy next week on All Out. Like the week of, there's when somebody's gonna show up and they're gonna fight, and they're like, "All right, this match is going on All Out next week or this Saturday." That's what's gonna happen. It's the same thing that happened with him and Joey Janela. He just kind of started beating up Joey Janela the week before, and they kind of threw out a match together.
So the next they started announcing stuff for next week's episode, which will be happening on a Saturday.
Yeah, which I mean, obviously the NBA is kind of taken over now. It's just how it is.
Yeah, because they're starting the playoffs.
Yeah, and that I mean, raw off topic, but NBA has done an incredible job with this whole pandemic and the bubble and everything, and the play's been really good. But anyways, it's gonna be weird the next couple weeks. There's a Saturday, there's a Thursday show, and I think that might lead you to All Out on a Saturday, which is pay-per-view, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's gonna change our schedule definitely, as to figure out how we're doing it.
School's starting up again. I mean, but we'll be available for sure. It's just hopefully it's not weird, like because apparently NBA is going to be going on until like September, October. So
yeah,
I think maybe late September. I don't know about October, but that's
also,
still there's like a couple weeks here.
Yeah, also you're saying that it was supposed to be happening at like 6 instead of 8.
Yeah, or it's like whenever that match ends. So hopefully, or whatever the game. I hope that game does not go to like triple overtime or something, and then it just keeps pushing it back. But
Or NHL 5 overtimes like last night.
yeah, sports are doing really well. Other than kind of baseball. Baseball's kind of
Baseball is going downhill, but that's a whole other story.
That's not a baseball podcast. This is a bash the women's division of AEW podcast. No. Yeah. I mean, what are we even talking about? I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
We were going to talk about next week's episode. They announced that they're having FTR against the Private Party.
That should be fun. Another just cool partner, like cool match for FTR to have that we've never seen before.
They're having the Elite versus Allen Angels, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver, Dark Order.
That's gonna be, I don't know. Something's gonna go down there.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I forgot who did they say was gonna be the Elite? Like
Kenny and the Young Bucks.
It was gonna be Kenny Young Bucks. That's gonna be interesting just to see that dynamic again. But I think it's probably gonna be the Elite kind of getting their win back with the Dark Order.
They technically did the Dark Order today.
Yeah, but as like the Elite.
It's just like the thing is though, like if Brody takes a loss and they take a loss, it's like I don't know, man.
I don't know. So they also have this announced that Darby is going to be having a match next week. They'll have
he's having a Hikaru Shida match where he faces a no-name opponent. He's going to win, and he's open. I guarantee you, Brian Cage. He's probably going to challenge Brian Cage for the belt next week if I had to put money on it.
They're having the finals of the women's tag tournament. So
yeah, I mean, at least it's on TV, So.
Yeah, at least it's on TV.
Brandy win her own tournament. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think Brandy's gonna. We'll have to see who wins. I hope Brandy doesn't even make to the finals. I hope they don't. If they did all this just for Brandy to win something,
people are going to be upset, like beyond.
give it it to somebody, man.
Like
Just
people
give
are
it to.
upset right now. If her team wins, people are gonna be even more upset than they really are right now.
Yeah, because it's not, I mean, she's okay at wrestling, but like not, compared to the other people, like she's not as qualified. Not I don't know the word, but experience. It's just
It would
it
just
wouldn't
feel
be a good
weird.
look. It would not be a good look.
It just I don't know. It probably wouldn't be a good look right now.
I'm
And it was
expecting Allie to like blow up, or that whole thing to blow up at the final, and then they lose or something.
So next
Yeah.
they also have the Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and the Natural Nightmares.
Thank God, Lucha Bros are back. I love Lucha Brothers.
It's been a
Anytime they're
while
on.
since they've had a match on Dynamite.
So I was watching it. I didn't even read the title part of it on the side. I just saw who was in the match, and I was like, yes, Lucha Brothers. Yes. Who are they? Who was Butcher and the Blade?
Yeah.
And who are they facing?
Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and the Natural
Jungle
Nightmares.
Boy, Luchasaurus. And then I saw QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, and I was like, God, like, come on, man. Like, I'm sure
That was kind of a random team to throw onto them.
could have had anybody else.
You thought like maybe the Young Bucks, but they're in the
TH,
Elite.
why don't they put Jack Evans and Angelico in this match instead
But
of those people?
it's true. But like TH, obviously
They're kind of heels.
they're heels.
That's true, I guess.
Try to make a babyface team, and they couldn't put the Young Bucks in the match because they're part of the Elite versus Dark Order. So I guess they just gotta throw on.
It's a tag team appreciation week next week too. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's maybe one singles match next week.
I mean,
two.
well, Darby Allin's in action, so
yeah, there's two singles matches next week.
Yeah. So we have two of those.
And Cody versus Mr. Brody Lee for the TNT title.
Three singles matches. I mean, again, we love tag matches. It's kind of funny. Oh, they said tag team appreciation week, like the company doesn't do tag team appreciation.
Yeah, they're having even more tag matches next week than I think there is even this week.
Yeah, I don't hate them. I love tag because it's just more people, more chaos. A lot of fun spots you can do with a bunch of different people. So I don't hate tag matches. Just saying, it's just kind of funny. But it'll be a fun one. To Darby, that match is going down. You got Cody, Brody Lee. Did we miss any?
What was it?
I'm trying to think.
What were you thinking of?
Well, it wouldn't be a women's match, so there's probably just going to be one tag team for the chip, and then maybe Sheeta or Nyla Rose does something next week. Britt Baker, who knows?
No, it's a pretty filled card already.
The Saturday special.
Yeah, but then moving on to the main event of the show is the $7,000 allegation match between Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho.
Oh man, dude. See, I remember telling you this last time. I did not enjoy their match at all. Like, I mean, not at all, but it was okay. Like the first time, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then they started pushing it again. I was like, okay, so Cassidy's gonna get the win, but how? It's just like this match just wasn't good. Like it was okay. It was the ending really.
Yeah, it was just kind of a strange match. And they've had these Jericho Orange Cassidy matches. It's just been kind of weird. I don't know how else to explain it. It just doesn't. Just something about it that just doesn't feel right.
I don't think Chris Jericho works well with him. Like on the mic, yeah. Like in the ring, I just think. What?
Like it worked
Orange
with Pac because they're just Pac's just very fast paced, in your face kind of style, which kind of works with the whole story of just him being such an underdog at all times.
And the one thing is though, I wish they would have took it more of a. I mean, they did they work funny about it, but in the ring, I wish Orange Cassidy did more of Orange Cassidy stuff, which we talked about in the first matchup. Like, I wish it was more of a funny thing instead of serious. Because they've really turned Orange Cassidy into like he can talk, like he's not mute, like he can talk and talk really well, but he's really serious. Like I want the funny Orange Cassidy back. I don't hate Orange Cassidy now. It's just I think
they need to find like a good middle ground between really serious and funny.
Yeah, because he's really good at both, but it just seemed like it was too serious for me for Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, because also just like I don't know, it feels so like it started so one-sided for like almost the entire match, and then at the end with Cassidy winning, it was kind of weird. Like you feel like Cassidy should always go into a match being like the underdog. This one he came out right away, and then practically almost led the entire match, really, except for the few times that Jericho started taking over.
I just really hope that they don't do a third one.
Yeah, I feel like they just kind of it needs to end like soon or
I
now.
don't know. I mean, obviously, I think what they're going to do with the money, I hope they do with the money, and it'll be really funny if they do what I think
Like
they're
you're
going to do.
saying, yeah, do like buy a new van for for the rest
Well,
of Sue.
$7,000, a new pair of glasses, a new pair of jeans or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
just buy
only Cass.
something really like mundane.
The only thing is, a Chris Jericho one, I wish Cassidy like gave him $7,000 in pennies or something. Like that would have been funny. But obviously Cassidy won, so I think that's what they're doing with that money. But I hope they kind of just go their separate ways now. Honestly, even though he's the demo god, as we all know, I wish
Mhm.
Jericho. I mean, I hope Jericho takes some time off here. Because I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah, because I don't know, they've really like they've used Jericho a lot recently. It feels like just because he's like really
Stadium
available.
Stampede, all of it. I mean, honestly, he was supposed to go on tour when he lost the belt.
But
And
then
he lost the belt, and then a week later, boom, hey, we're in a pandemic. Sorry.
it
And
was like a
then
few weeks later, boom.
I'm back. I'm staying. So I think he's going to take some time here eventually because he was supposed to, anyways, just to give him some time. I mean, he's classic Jericho. He's always going to be good, but I think it would be good to take him off TV for a little
Hmm.
if you can, for a couple weeks. It doesn't even have to be forever. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
it could just after All Out or at All Out, he shows up again.
Yeah, and of course they brought the whole thing with Mike Chio, the maybe joining with Jericho at one point, where
But he
he was
wasn't going to do
telling
that.
him like, cause Jericho got the bat, and he was telling him to turn around and just let like,
It was weird again. I don't know.
which of course Chio takes the bat away from him, which then led up to the finish. Even the finish for this match was kind of weird.
And
Like,
honestly, though, I think they really realized how late on time they were, and
yeah,
they were like, "Shoot." So then I don't know what was going on, but I felt like they were really rushed it.
because it was right up to 10 o'clock, and Jericho hits a low blow, but then Cassie was able to kind of rebound and then get a roll up on Jericho and won the match.
Yeah, I was expecting like the typical they end a couple minutes early and then Jericho just throws a temper tantrum or something.
But it was just it was a roll up pin for Cassidy, and then like
We'll see you next
cut.
Saturday. You know.
Like see you next Saturday, cut,
Yep. So now
and that
what?
was it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as I mean, this is the most I kind of made fun of AEW. I mean, not really made fun of, but like I don't know. It was in a good way, but like it wasn't that great of
It's
an episode
constructive
for me.
criticism.
Yeah. And I love AEW. Happy it came. I say this every show almost, but they need this. I mean, you're gonna if anybody's listening, you're gonna hear it in all the other AEW podcasts you listen to. I'm sure. But the women's division, they're gonna trash it. I put money on it. It's gonna get trashed on every podcast this week.
I'm
Um,
pretty sure it's been trashed
it's already
maybe.
trashed, but it definitely will. I mean, we'll see, especially how this tournament goes.
It was probably trashed last week. Probably being trashed this week.
Yeah, you got a couple interesting weeks leading up to All Out. We know AEW and their storytelling. We'll have to see, what Brian Cage does with the FTW belt. 'Cause it sounds like he's defending it. It's just a matter of who, and I mean, obviously, it's probably gonna be Darby. And then you got the tag belts. Who knows what they're gonna do with those? And then you got Cody or whoever. I mean, if Brody doesn't win,
Hmm.
bunch of stuff, fun stuff going into All Out, and I'm gonna buy it again for sure.
Hmm. I feel like
Um,
after the that goes against Darby, I feel like you should maybe go against like I don't know, like Lance Archer,
that would be fun.
and they could
Uh,
have an FTW title thing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. He could have a lot of fun matches with a lot of different people. Also, yeah, Taz on commentary was funny all night.
Yeah, probably his best part was when he was talking during that the tag title match where he was talking about Marco, and he was like, I hate that kid, but I like his bucket hat.
Yeah, another thing I mean, I don't really want to get into it now as we're closing here, but JR, man, like, jeez, I don't know, man, dude,
He's
his
weird
time is
sometimes.
up. Like, it's not his time is up, my time is now kind of. It's not a John Cena quote. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't think. I don't know, dude. I'm just tired of him acting like he does. He's burying the product and just not knowing what he's talking about, especially with the women's division. And he just seems very arrogant about it.
Just
I don't know.
know.
I don't know
That's
how you
weird.
feel
That's
about
really
JR. But it just is like, dude.
when he works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's just like you're literally burying the product. Like you didn't think Chris Statlander was an alien. Or like whatever. Like I mean, like a lot of things. He buried Matt Hardy too. Like, I mean, not buried him, but he trashed him.
It's strange. He's kind of like some of the stuff he says is good, and some stuff he says isn't. It's really weird. It just depends on the week. It feels like.
Right. One week he's talking about his barbecue sauce. Next week he's talking about actual wrestling. It's just like, and it's like obviously he loves FTR because they're all about following old school rules and stuff. So he likes the people that followed the way he was brought into wrestling, but that's just weird. I don't know.
His delivery is just strange sometimes. I don't know. It's starting to get out of style.
It just doesn't seem like he knows what he's talking about half the time,
Tony can stay though.
Oh yeah, Tony, Taz, Excalibur. Oh, also, Excalibur's been missing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think we covered it last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It sounds like he, decided on his own that he wanted to be taken off. I don't think AEW was planning on it. He wanted to respect that, and he's definitely gonna maybe cover up JR a little bit. I think he's coming back next week, the 23rd.
Taz has been doing a good job.
I think he's coming back for that.
Yeah, so that's probably gonna have to do it for this week's episode. We have to make sure we tune in next time for TNT title, which will be interesting. It's Saturday now.
Well, this episode will probably be out Sunday, so Sunday will come out Sunday, but Saturday's when the show is.
It's gonna be weird. We're gonna have to change things up on here. But that's gonna have to do it for this week's episode. My name is Shawn Long.
Bradley.
You listen to the AEW Rewind podcast.